Hello students, today we will be learning about nutrition in plants. Before we go into the chapter, let us learn some of the important keywords from this given chapter. Autotrophic, chlorophyll, heterotrophs, host, insectivores, nutrition, parasite, photosynthesis, saprotrophs, saprotrophic, stomata, nutrients. I repeat, autotrophic, chlorophyll, heterotrophs, host, insectivores, nutrition, parasite, photosynthesis, saprotrophs, saprotrophic, stomata, nutrients. In class 6, you have learnt about the important characteristics possessed by the living organism. Living organisms show certain characteristics. Based on that, you classify them under living things. Can you mention some of the characteristics? Yes. Movement, respiration, sensitivity, growth, reproduction, excretion, nutrition. These are some of the characteristics of living organism. Now, in today's class, we will be learning about this important characteristic, that is nutrition, specifically nutrition in the living organism plant. You can remember Mrs. Green so that easily you can recall all this. Now, in class 6, you have learnt about the important components of food. Can you tell me the important components of food? Yes. The important components of food are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins and minerals. So these important components of food itself is termed as nutrients. Why do we need these nutrients? As you all know that these components of food, for example, carbohydrates and fats is termed as energy giving food. Protein is termed as body building food. Vitamins and minerals are called body regulating food. So, we need these nutrients to perform these important functions in our body. To build the body, to grow, to repair the damaged parts, to provide energy to carry out the various life process. Now, let us learn what is meant by nutrition. As we know that it is one of the important characteristics of living organism. The process of taking in of food and its utilization in the body is called as nutrition. What are the different modes of nutrition? There are basically two important modes of nutrition: autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic is derived from the word auto and trophos. Auto means self, trophos means nourishment. Getting self-nourishment is termed as autotrophic nutrition. It is a type of nutrition in which organism can prepare their own food. Can you tell me the organism that can prepare their own food? Can you name the organism that prepares its own food? Yes, I think you would have guessed right. That is green plants and some blue-green alga. So, organisms which can prepare its own food are termed as autotrophs. Next mode of nutrition is heterotrophic nutrition. Hetero means other. Trophic derived from the word trophos, that is nourishment. Getting the nourishment through other means is termed as heterotrophic nutrition. The organism which cannot prepare its own food should depend on other for food. Such type of nutrition is termed as heterotrophic nutrition. Here, the organism cannot prepare its own food, so it directly or indirectly depends on plants for their food. So, organisms which get their food directly or indirectly from plants are termed as heterotrophs. Now, we have learnt the two modes of nutrition, autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. So, can you give me the example for autotrophic nutrition? One example for autotrophs, green plants. For heterotrophic nutrition, simple, non-green plants. Since here we are dealing with learning about modes of nutrition in plants, here heterotrophic nutrition is performed by non-green plants. As we know that plants are autotrophs, they can prepare its own food. Now let us learn how these plants prepare its own food. Plants obtain the raw materials such as carbon dioxide and water through the external means, that is through the environment, in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll pigment. It prepares its own food and also releases oxygen as a product of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the food making process in plants. Here you can see sun is a source of light here. So it is the green plant is obtaining the sunlight, carbon dioxide and water. In the presence of a green pigment, it is converting this carbon dioxide water into carbohydrate and also giving out oxygen. Photosynthesis is a food making process in plants. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants prepare their own food using sunlight, water, carbon dioxide and chlorophyll. So photosynthesis takes place in leaves because it is more exposed, broad and more exposed area. Sunlight is obtained from the sun. Water is absorbed by roots and it is transported to the leaves. Carbon dioxide is taken from the air through small pores in the leaves called stomata. As you can observe here, these leaves has small pores which is called as stomata. So through this stomata, carbon dioxide enters the leaf and oxygen is given out. It is like a door through which oxygen comes out and carbon dioxide enters the leaves. Chlorophyll are the green pigment present in the leaves. So here is a microscopic view of stomata present on the leaf. So this is the structure of stomata, which consists of pore, stomatal pore opening and a bean-shaped guard cells, and it is also surrounded by the supporting cells. So this is the structure of stomata. Here once again, stomata present on the leaf, microscopic view of stomata, and this is the structure of leaf, section of leaf showing the small pores, that is stoma. And this is a plant cell which is showing chloroplast. This chloroplast organelle contains chlorophyll in it. Now, Dear students, as we know that chlorophyll uses the energy from the sunlight to prepare food by using water, carbon dioxide from the external source, from the environment. The food prepared is carbohydrate, which is then converted into starch. During photosynthesis, oxygen is released to the environment. Now, can you write the equation for photosynthesis? Yes, you can write like this. You should write and practice this. Carbon dioxide and water is taken from the surrounding, and in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, it is converted to carbohydrates and oxygen is released. Now, synthesis of protein. How do these green plants prepare protein and other constituents of food? As we know that as a result of photosynthesis, plants get carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So if the plant has to synthesize protein, it requires the other elements such as nitrogen also. How does this plant get nitrogen? This is the question now. If the plant has to prepare protein, it also needs nitrogen supply. How does plant absorb? How does the plant get nitrogen? This is the question now. Let us learn about it. Synthesis of protein. The soil has some bacteria which converts nitrogen from the air into usable nitrogen in the soil. As we know that in atmosphere, there is nitrogen content is present in the atmosphere in the gaseous form. Around 78% of nitrogen is present in the atmosphere. It is in the gaseous form, and plants cannot directly get this nitrogen. Then, how does it get the nitrogen? Yeah, the soil has some bacteria. Some of the bacteria that is present in the soil can convert this gaseous nitrogen into the usable nitrogen in the soil. And also, farmers add fertilizers containing nitrogen into the soil. So, therefore, plants absorb this nitrogen from the soil along with water and other constituents to prepare proteins and fats. So, till now we have learnt about the autotrophic nutrition. Now we are going to learn about the heterotrophic nutrition in plants. The other mode of nutrition in plants, that is heterotrophic in nature. You might have seen some of the non-green plants. If it is not green in color, it is not having the chlorophyll pigment. Then, if it is not having the chlorophyll pigment, how does it prepare the food? Let us see now. Such plants which are non-green in color, it will around the host plant that is green in color. So this, you observe this picture here. So this is the plant which is green in color, and this willed round plant which is willed around is a non-green plant. This green plants can carry photosynthesis, it can prepare its own food. So this non-green plant, it will around the green plant, host plant, and obtain the nutrition through it. Such a type of nutrition is termed as parasitic nutrition, and such plants are termed as parasitic plants. So these parasitic plants are the plants which do not have chlorophyll and they cannot prepare their own food. They get their food from the other host plant. Example for this parasitic plant is Coscuta. Now observe this image. what do you see here? Yeah, one insect is telling that it is trapped. Again, what is happening here? Again here the insect is trapped by the plant. One plant is eating the insect. Here again, look at the picture. The plant is eating the insect, capturing the insect and eating it, digesting it. Again, look at the picture here. Oh, the plant is eating the frog. Observe carefully. What has happened here? The plant has captured the frog and it has closed it. Now it is going to digest the frog. Again, here one more picture. Trap. The insects are getting trapped here. Now, what are these plants termed as? They are termed as insectivorous plants. So just now you have seen some of the important pictures where the plants are eating the animals, insects. So such plants which feed on insects are called insectivorous plants. Example, pitcher plant, sundew plant, drosera, Venus flytrap are the example for insectivorous plants. So the leaf of the pitcher plant is modified into a pitcher. You can see this is actually a leaf, but it is modified in such a way that it looks like a pitcher, surai or a mug. The end of the pitcher has a lid, as you can see here. At the end there is a lid which can open and close. When an insect enters the pitcher, the lid closes. The insect is then digested by the digestive juices inside the pitcher. So there will be a digestive glands which secretes digestive juice, and with the help of these digestive juices, the insects are digested. Here is an example for Venus flytrap. Again, you can see how the insect has trapped here in the plant, sundew plant. Here again an example for insectivorous plant. Again, this is an example for pitcher plant. Nepenthes, pitcher plant. Yes, here it will close the lid. Whenever the insect enters, it will close the lid, digest the insect and obtain the nitrogen from the insect. Now, let us learn the other mode of heterotrophic nutrition, that is saprotrophic nutrition. And the organism which carry this saprotrophic nutrition are termed as saprotrophs. Saprotrophs. As we know that trophes is nourishment. Sapro, getting the nourishment by dead and decaying organic matter, is termed as saprotrophic nutrition, and such organisms are termed as saprotrophs. So these saprotrophs are plants which do not have chlorophyll and cannot prepare their own food. As you can see here, they are non-green in color. Mushroom is non-green in color and it cannot prepare its own food. Then how does it get the nutrition? This plant, this mushroom get the nutrition, saprotroph get the nutrition by producing digestive juices on dead and decaying organic matter. Here is the organic matter. So this organism, mushroom, produces a digestive juice. So this digestive juice converts it into a solution and then absorbs the nutrients from the solution. The organic matter, decaying organic matter, is converted into solution form, and through that solution nutrients is absorbed by this organism. Such an interesting feature. These are very important for us. Saprotrophs are they are called as scavengers. So they obtain the nutrition from dead and decaying organic matter. So here are some of the example: mushroom, bread mold, rhizopus. As you can see in this picture, so mushrooms are growing and it is obtaining the nutrition from dead and decaying organic matter. Here again, one more example for saprotroph. Yes, can you guess what is this? Yes, this is again an example for saprotroph. The big flower, Rafflesia, that is obtaining the nutrition from dead and decaying organic matter. Yes. So students, here is a small interesting activity for you. What you have to do is, I hope all of you get bread at home. You get bread at home, isn't it? Do one thing. Take a loaf of bread, moisten it with water and keep it in a warm place for few days, 2 to 3 days, till you observe the fluffy patches on them. Observe that patch under a magnifying glass. You can observe some white cotton-like thread on the bread. So this cotton-like threads are nothing but fungus, that is bread mold. So this bread mold is a organism, that is saprotroph, that is obtaining the nutrients from the bread. So saprotrophs get their food from dead and decaying organic matter. Through this activity, you can learn that how saprotrophs get their food from dead and decaying organic matter. Dear students, here is one interesting heterotrophic nutrition again. You might have shared so many things with your friend. For example, if your mother has prepared some delicious food at home, if you have taken it for lunch, you would have shared it with your friend. In return, your friend might have shared his food with you. For example, if you have taken sandwich and if your friend has brought a sweet, if you like sweet, you take the sweet and in return you give your sandwich to your friend. Isn't it? You might have done some point of your life this type of activities. So such a type of give and take relationship is termed as symbiotic relationship. Let us see here how the plants are showing symbiotic relationship. Some plants live together and share shelter and nutrients. For example, lichens. It is a composite. Here, in lichens, alga and fungus live together. Lichen is a mix of two different organisms. So, two different organisms live together and this together living matter is lichen. The fungus present gives shelter, provides shelter, water and minerals to alga. In return, alga provides food to the fungus. As we know that fungus is usually non-green. It cannot carry photosynthesis. Therefore, fungus can provide only shelter and water to the alga. In return, alga is green in color and it can carry photosynthesis. Therefore, alga provides food. So, since both are in need of one and another, they live together and they keep on sharing these important components lifelong. Therefore, such a type of relationship is termed as symbiotic relationship. So here you can see these are lichens. You might have observed this on the tree trunks and other rocky areas. So usually you can observe this on the trees. This is a mix of two different organisms, fungus and alga. So they live together and share shelter, water and food. Alga provides food, fungus provides shelter and water minerals to the alga. So this is give and take relationship, sharing relationship. Such a type of nutrition where the organisms are sharing and obtaining their nutrients, satisfying their nutrients is called as symbiotic nutrition or symbiotic relationship. Now, plants grow and obtain the nutrients from the soil. If you are continuously growing the plants are continuously absorbing the nutrients from the soil. Then how these nutrients are replenished in the soil? This is the question. These plants absorb nutrients from the soil, so the nutrients in the soil decreases. You might have observed farmers add manure and fertilizer to the soil to increase the nutrients in the soil. But this is naturally done by, again, the symbiotic relationship of organism. Let us see that. So you can observe here in this picture, this is a roots of leguminous plant. We are observing the roots of leguminous plants. So this leguminous plants has root nodules. So in this root nodules, the bacteria, rhizobium bacteria takes the shelter. You just observe the cursor here. This is a root system of leguminous plants. So here you can observe the root nodules in this leguminous plants. So inside these nodules, rhizobium bacteria live. And this rhizobium bacteria has a capacity to convert nitrogen, gaseous nitrogen into the soluble form of nitrogen into the soil, in the soil. So it absorbs the nitrogen from the air and converts it into the soluble form of nitrogen, simple form of nitrogen in the soil. Therefore, it enriches the nitrogen content in the soil. In return, it provides the nitrogen to the plants. If the soil is rich in nitrogen, the roots can absorb the nitrogen. The roots can easily get the nitrogen. And in return, what the bacteria is getting here? It is getting the home, that is shelter. So bacteria can easily live in this root nodules and survive. And in return, the leguminous plant is getting the nitrogen. So this type of give and take relationship is observed here even in the leguminous plant and bacteria. So such a type of relationship is termed as symbiotic relationship. Dear students, here is a activity sheet for you. Now you have to classify these animals which are given in the box into their eating habit. Then what do they eat? Based on that, you have to classify them as carnivore, herbivore or omnivore. You know that carnivores are animals that eat the flesh of other animals. Herbivores are the animals that eat plants. Omnivores are the animals that eat both plants and other animals. So here there is a list of animals. Let me read it once for you. snake, parrot, cat, caterpillar, bird, chicken, rabbit, leopard, giraffe, rat, spider, chimpanzee, eagle, bear, duck, lion, owl, cow. So these organisms, these animals, you have to classify into different columns based on their nutrition, based on their eating habit, that is carnivore or herbivore or omnivore. Thank you. Have a nice day.